Live from Harwich, Massachusetts, the Harwich Mariners look to avenge last night's loss at the hands of the Chatham Anglers by handing the Falmouth Commodores their third straight loss to open up the year. And they'll look to do it as they welcome the good folks of Harwich back to the confines of White House Field once again. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you for tonight as it's game number 3 of the Harwich Mariners 2022 season. Well, Devin, it was a tough showing last night for the Mariners as they fell to the Anglers, a 5-2 loss in which the Mariners got struck out 12 times and went down 1-2-3 across the last 5 innings of the game. Not a lot was going on at the plate last night.
Yeah, pretty bizarre, especially considering how things went at Falmouth, in which they had no offense going the first couple innings and then exploded the second half of the game. And then we fast forward to Chatham last night, in which they were able to put a run on the board in the top of the first, and then after the fourth inning, really nothing doing. Just one base hit, and that turned into a double play. 15 batters came up after the fourth inning. That is the minimum, and it was really just a tough showing, as you mentioned, Tim. Tommy Seidel did hit a solo home run, which is a bright spot. His brother Billy will get the ball here tonight.
Yes, he will. Billy Seidel, he is on the mound. He's throwing his warm-up pitches now. No stranger to White House Field, Billy Seidel is, a member of the Harwich Mariners last season, in which he appeared in 4 games, an ERA of .287. Was able to strike out 17 batters, only walked 9. He was a guy last year for the Mariners who really did a lot of work, Devin.
Yeah, fantastic member of the team. Fellow Duke Blue Devil, a lot of them in this game. Jonathan Santucci starting in center, Mooney at shortstop for Falmouth. But yeah, in his previous campaign at Duke in 2022, he went 2-5 with a 6.80 ERA. 9 starts in 17 games he appeared in, 43 2/3 innings pitched, and a 55-34 strikeout to walk ratio. Billy Seidel looking to get things going, and the Mariners back in the win column.
Seidel, here's what he has on offer tonight: a fastball, slider, changeup, and it's that changeup that he'll throw it either firmly or softly. And so we'll see how he decides to mix up his rotation as we head through the night. Let's take a moment and introduce you first to the Falmouth Commodores starting lineup. Starting at shortstop, batting leadoff, Alex Mooney. Batting second, the center fielder, Cross Factor. Batting third, the designated hitter, Maui Ahuna. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Drew Brusher. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Anthony Mckenzie. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Angelo Diaconto. Batting seventh, the catcher, Jacob Kozar. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Justin Jordan. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Eddie Saldivar. So some familiar faces from the game yesterday, or not yesterday, rather, back on opening day against the Commodores between Falmouth and Harwich, as Alex Mooney steps in and is ready to receive the first pitch of the ball game. Maui Ahuna, one of the names that is familiar from last year for the Commodores, as Seidel comes set and delivers, and this one's going to be pulled out to left field. That'll go right at Kyle Teal in left. Has to take a step back to make the catch, but on one pitch, there's one out.
Yeah, and Kyle Teal moved out to left field. He did the catching last night and actually had a pretty good game defensively. Gunned down a man at second, but he moves out to left field tonight and already making an impact 1 pitch into the game.
And as the 2-hole hitter, Cross Factor, steps up to bat, let's take a moment and introduce you to the Harwich defense. It looks like this: the outfield from left to right. Kyle Teal's in left, Jonathan Santucci in center, Tommy Seidel, older brother of today's starting pitcher, Billy Seidel, is out in right field. The infield from left to right, Nick Goodwin at third, Danny Corona's at short, Chase Engelhard's at second, Gino Groover is making his debut at first base for the Mariners. Tatum Levens is back behind home plate, and as mentioned, it's Billy Seidel on the bump. It's a 1-1 count here to the batter in Cross Factor.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Gino Groover III at first base. We saw him in left field in game 1. He did the designated hitting last night. Now he moves over to first. Kind of been a utility defender for Coach Engelhard.
This one's going to be popped up. That'll go back behind the press box here, off and out of the way, and so it's a 1-2 count. And Groover, a guy who generally takes up first base. That's where he saw most of his reps while he was at NC State this past season. And so, you know, when you have another guy as well, and Joe Vitrano, who's here and is also a stalwart over at first base, you have to find ways to get both of them their reps. As Seidel is able to get the off-speed working, Cross Factor is crossed up. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, beautiful pitch from Seidel that time. As you mentioned, off-speed, dives just as it gets to the nose of the plate, and swinging right over is Cross Factor.
And this will bring up Maui Ahuna. Ahuna, again, he played last year with the Falmouth Commodores. As Seidel He'll rock, and comes home. That one's going to be right over the plate. Ahuna flinching at it. He freezes, and so the count opens up at 0-1. But yes, as mentioned, Ahuna, he was a part of the Commodores last season. Ahuna was, as the 0-1 comes in. Also a called strike, 0-2 now. Last season, his stats looked like this. A pretty good showing for the sample size that he had, as the 0-2 is fanned on and missed. That's going to be the inning. Billy Seidel comes out and sits him down 1-2-3. 2 strikeouts to open up the ball game for Billy Seidel. We move now to the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 here from White House Field at the home opener from Harwich, Massachusetts. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to White House Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you. We bring you to the bottom of the first inning. A very quick 1-2-3 inning defensively for the Mariners. Billy Seidel, 2 strikeouts as his stuff's working early here. We look at the Harwich Mariners starting lineup now. It looks like this. Batting leadoff, the third baseman tonight, Nick Goodwin. Batting second, the catcher, Tatum Levens. Batting third, the first baseman, Gino Groover. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Joe Vitrano. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Tommy Seidel. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Kyle Teal. Batting seventh, the center fielder, Jonathan Santucci. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Chase Engelhard. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Danny Corona. So some interesting notes here in the lineup. Already a few things. One, of course, you heard Jonathan Santucci, who pitched 3 innings last time Harwich faced off against Falmouth. He's out in center field tonight. He was a dual threat for Duke. Did have some at-bats for the Blue Devils this past season. Also, Tatum Levens back in the lineup after having the night off last night. Joe Vitrano, after taking up first base across the first 2 games, he is now the designated hitter, and you don't want to lose that bat. He's been swinging it very well for the Mariners to open up the season so far, and so smart to keep him in that designated hitter role as you get Gino Groover some reps over at first base. As we open up this bottom of the first inning, it's going to be Jerron Watts-Brown, who's starting on the mound for the Commodores. This one's going to be flied out to right field on the first pitch of the game. And so, similar to how the game opened up, a first pitch fly out into the outfield. And there's one away quickly in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, just got under that one if you're Nick Goodwin, a guy who's been swinging a hot bat, already has a home run on the season. But taking a look at Jerron Watts-Brown at Long Beach State this season, went 4-4 with a 3.68 ERA. Actually threw a no-hitter against UC Riverside. Definitely the highlight of his year. Had 16 strikeouts in that game. 73 1/3 innings pitched this season, and he's given up 30 earned runs, 111 punch-outs, Tim.
As the first pitch comes in and misses, so it's going to open up at 1-0. But yes, wow, 111 strikeouts this past season. And you mentioned the no-hitter. That's always going to grab eyes, as the 1-0 misses outside, and it's quickly 2-0 here to Tatum Levens, who steps back in now. So we'll see what exactly Jerron looks like all night here at White House Field as the 2-0 comes in. That's also going to miss outside. So home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa take a look over toward the Falmouth dugout as though he were to indicate a strike. These are the umpires for you, by the way. Mike Hinojosa doing the balls and strikes, as Tatum Levens will take a 4th pitch walk. He'll head down to first base. Michael Farman will take up duties over at first, and then Ryan DeMayer is over at third base. And as Gino Groover comes up to bat, let's take a moment, set the Falmouth Commodores starting defense for you. The outfield from left to right, it's Justin Jordan out in left field, Cross Factor in center field, Drew Brutcher is out in right, Anthony Mckenzie's at third base, Alex Mooney's at shortstop, Eddie Saldivar is at second, Angelo Diaconto is at first, and Jacob Cozart is at home plate. He will be doing the catching for Jerron Watts-Brown here tonight as this one skips in the dirt, diving back to the bag, but then the check down to first gets away from the first baseman, Diaconto. That's going to be a free 90 feet for Tatum Levens as he's able to pull in standing. He got caught out a bit. He took a bit of a generous lead over at first, and as Cozart tried to make him pay, he airmailed the throw down to Akunto, and what should have been a routine check back down to first ends up costing Falmouth a base.
Yeah, and it's just a wild sequence there. Tatum Levens trying to get a dirt ball read there. Is that one in the dirt? A beautiful pick by Cozart behind the plate, and Levens was still a quarter of the way to second base. Deer in the headlights. The throw down missed the first baseman. I think Cozart got a little too excited there, and nonetheless, it goes into right field. Free 90 for the Mariners.
And so, it's a 2-0 count now here to Gino Groover. And the Mariners here tonight wearing their home cream uniforms. It's a Mariners across the front. Navy blue numerals trimmed in red. As the 2-0 comes in, that's going to miss. That's going to be a ball. It's a 3-0 count now. That's 7 straight balls right now from Jerron Watts-Brown. Falmouth, on the other hand, wearing their black tops, gray bottoms. They've got the maroon socks showing on those who elect to hike up the pants. A 3-0 count here coming up to Gino Groover. The pitch. That's going to be in for a called strike, and so the count is now 3-1. As Watts-Brown trying to work his way back into this count here. Not ideal start. You got that first pitch fly out to right field, but a bit of a chaotic sequence, and now you have a man right behind you over on second base. Tough to maintain your composure sometimes. If you are Watts-Brown in a situation like this to open up the game, especially here in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut. Pitched last summer with the Brockton Rocks, I believe.
Yes, another summer league team, but he's happy to be here in the Cape League, one of the premier leagues in the summer, and he's got a teammate with Eddie Saldivar over at second base, so always nice to have someone you know when you're going to a new spot.
A nice comeback pitch to run the count full after opening it up 3-0, but yes, having that teammate, that familiarity, certainly a boon. A full count here to Gino Groover, who's looking to get into a bit of a rhythm here. As Watts-Brown holds the glove about waist height, comes home. That'll skip well in the dirt before home plate. Nicely blocked by Cozart to prevent an extra base for Tatum Levens. And so, headed down to first base now will be Gino Groover. The Mariners have men on first and second with nobody away, with one away, excuse me. Nick Goodwin retired on the fly out to right. But back-to-back walks from Watts-Brown. And you bring up Joe Vitrano, a guy who has been swinging the bat well here for Harwich. He's one of just 3 Mariners to record a hit. Yes, one of 3 Mariners to record a hit across the team's first 2 games so far. He, Goodwin, and Seidel, each with hits to open up this season for the Mariners, as this pitch is going to miss. And the count opens here at 1-0.
Yeah, Vitrano had a beautiful double right down the first baseline last night to drive in the first run of the game, and Nick Goodwin. Nice piece of hitting, and if you're Jerron Watts-Brown, you definitely don't want to walk back-to-back guys in front of this guy, one of the best power hitters for the Mariners. One more just joining the team. Maybe we'll get into that later.
As the 1-0 pitch is fouled back, yes, the cat's out of the bag. Brock Wilkin is back in Harwich. He was activated on the team's active roster earlier today, as was Billy Seidel, along with Liam Sullivan. We can expect to see Sullivan perhaps a bit later on, but for now, Seidel back on the mound. But yes, the reigning Pat Sorrenti MVP award recipient, Brock Wilkin, is back with the Mariners, and he is available here tonight should Coach Engelhard elect to go to him later on in the game, depending on the circumstance. It's a 2-1 count here to the batter in Vitrano.
And kind of one of the biggest question marks is, when is he going to show up? We actually saw him in the post-game show. We got the news that he was in the dugout for the Mariners, something that was awesome. Everybody loves Brock that comes to these Mariners games, and really a great clubhouse guy. He's going to be a great veteran for the new guys, and absolutely a contagious personality. Looking forward to watching him hit the field.
As Watts stares back towards second, comes home. That'll be sliced back foul. The count evens out now at 2-2. And yes, certainly, I mean, I can tell you that him coming back was turning heads all across the league. You had people who were reaching out like, oh, when's he coming back? When's he coming back? Because we're not always privy to that, but, you know, we are somewhat of the point of contact in some cases. Not many. But people were wondering when he's be coming back, and so he's finally back, and looking forward to seeing when his debut this season will be. Wilkin, for those who are not so familiar, again, as mentioned, won the MVP award last year. He had some fantastic numbers, batted .302 at 39 hits as that's hit off the end of the bat, and the count remains 2-2. 10 doubles, 6 homers, 26 RBIs, and 26 runs scored. Led the league in doubles and walks, and he finished top 10 across the league in batting average, hits, home runs, and RBIs. Just a really impressive season. And to top it off, the youngest Cape League MVP in league history.
Yeah, quite the resume there, and it's so funny you mentioned like how everybody's been anticipating this arrival as Vetrano goes down swinging there for strike 3, but we got a chance to meet with all the broadcasters preseason from their respective ball clubs. And, you know, everybody has a feel for everybody's team, but the one constant among them all, everybody's like, when's Brock Wilkin coming back? When's Brock Wilkin coming back? They all know that returning MVP and that he's back in Harwich. Everybody really excited to watch him play. Really going to put on a show here. I'm looking forward to watching him, my first full season here in the Mariners press box. But, yeah, Brock Wilkin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, not to overhype him before he's even been introduced. So we continue along now. It's Tommy Seidel who steps in. The righty out of Alabama. An exciting opportunity here today. Seidel and Seidel both in today's starting lineup. Of course, well, Tommy Seidel in the lineup. You have Billy Seidel who's on the mound. Very interesting opportunity. Of course, always exciting. Both of them hailing, of course, from Wellesley, Massachusetts. So local kids as well. So plenty out here to attend today's game. And watch the two Wellesley boys go at it here as the 2-0. Count now 2-0 as it misses inside.
It's got to be pretty cool to play summer baseball in one of the best leagues in summer baseball with your brother. I mean, of course, he's got the opportunity to help his brother out now. Will he come through? That's the question.
Yeah, a good spot here for the Mariners. Well, it was. They had, and they have 2 on here. Got them on with 1 out. Seidel chops this one foul. Count now 2-1. But of course, the strikeout from Vetrano, and so Mariners in need of some 2-out offense here. Harwich so far on the young season, batting .375 when they have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. 3 for 8 so far with 4 RBI across these first 2 games, and so so far Harwich, they've been producing in these kinds of spots. Let's see. The 2-1 swung on and missed. That's down in the dirt. Kozar digs it out, and it's now 2-2 with 2 away. Watts Brown a pitch away from getting out of the jam here. And he'll look to do it on this next pitch coming up. On deck, if he gets the opportunity, it's Kyle Teal, left field tonight.
Seidel still got a chance here. He had the only multi-hit game for the Mariners last night. 2 hits. We mentioned the solo home run. His average up to .333 through 2 games early on. And, yeah, he did score one of the 2 Mariners runs, of course.
As Watts comes set, stares back at second, and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Seidel. Mariners leave 2 stranded. 0-0 as we head back to the top of the 2nd inning. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball in a moment. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back to White House Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you with the top of the second inning. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up. Drew Brutcher, Anthony Mckenzie, and Angelo Diaconto back for the Falmouth Commodores up to bat coming up. Billy Seidel back out there for his second inning of work, very quickly getting ahead in the count 0-1. As he comes set, rocks, and delivers. That's going to miss high, and the count now 1-1. So this battery here, interesting when you think about it. Tatum Levens, fellow ACC guy, but of course plays with Pitt. And then if you have Billy Seidel, a Duke man himself. But they were a battery last summer as well. Again, Levens as well, a fellow Mariner who was with Harwich last season. So not all too unfamiliar with one another as Seidel comes back with a strike. And here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to miss high. Tried to get the batter and Brutcher to chase up high, but it's a 2-2 count now.
Brutcher, a .299 hitter this past season for the University of South Florida Bulls. He started 43 games. He goes down swinging there.
Very nice pitch, able to blow it by him. Brutcher could not catch up, and so that is the third straight strikeout for Billy Seidel, who is dealing early here for the Mariners.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Anytime you get 3 straight strikeouts, you got to be in a rhythm. No batter has gotten to first base yet. Seidel would like to have that streak continue against a very good hitter in Mckenzie.
It is Anthony Mckenzie who comes up to bat. Mckenzie so far on this season for the Commodores. So far he's 2 for 7 on the year across the 2 games played. He has come across the score once. He's also struck out twice across his 7 at-bats. He's ahead in the count here, 1-0. As Seidel comes home, that's going to be a strike as Mckenzie can't find any of it. And so, count here is now 1-1.
.242 hitter this season for Sam Houston State. 45 games in which he played in, 43 starts. He slugged .382 this season.
As the 1-1 misses, it's a 2-1 count now.
Native of Houston, Texas, went to Second Baptist High School. 6'0", 195 pounds.
Just 2-1. That'll be fouled off out of play, and the count now here is 2-2. Again, this is the home opener for the Mariners. Good to see people filing in here today. The berms along each the first and third base side, they've been reinforced with some extra protective netting. As the 2-2 comes in, that'll be chopped on the ground. 2-hopper into the glove of Engelhard. He'll throw onto first, right over to Groover in time. 2 away.
Those high choppers are the thing that scares you as a defense. You're just waiting for them to land. And it's very tough because the thoughts start to race through your head. I got to get this ball to first base, especially with a fast runner in Mckenzie. But a nice play made over there by Engelhard. Able to field it and throw across his body, record the out, bang, bang play. Mariners will take it, 2 down.
And so this will bring up now Angelo Diaconto. Diaconto up to bat out of Staten Island, New York, out of Georgetown. Looking for his first hit of the season still, 0 for 6. 2 strikeouts as well, and he'll take a first pitch strike from Seidel, who's been able to sit down the first 5 he's faced. And Billy Seidel getting right back at it. I mean, he was a fighter last year, I remember, here with Harwich. And he's really not wasting any time going after guys. You can tell that he's just comfortable being back here in Harwich, getting right at it. It's an 0-2 count here to the batter in Diaconto.
Yeah, the veterans absolutely have an advantage knowing a feel for the game, having a feel for the game rather, and especially with the wood bats for the offensive players just joining the league, definitely a step up.
Hit on the ground over to shortstop. Throw from Corona onto first is in time. And that ends the inning. Another 1-2-3. Down go the Commodores. We'll be back with the bottom of the second inning and the Mariner bats when we return. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Mariners, left fielder from Virginia.
Welcome back into White House Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 batters due up here for the Mariners. Kyle Teal out of Virginia leads us off. And he'll send this one a hot shot over to short that eats up Mooney. And that's going to be an error on Mooney, I presume, as a hard hit ball. So they'll rule that one a hit. Tough play to make for Mooney. And so it's a leadoff single for Kyle Teal. And that's something that the Mariners are going to want to see more of this season. It hasn't been the greatest showing in the leadoff spot so far for Harwich. I mean, when you look at what they've been doing from the leadoff spot, they've just been batting 176. 1 home run and 1 walk, but other than that, it's been tough going in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, Mooney, a guy who's really been one of the go-to guys for Falmouth all season long. He's now made his 2nd error against the Mariners this season, a ball that kind of ate him up, but yeah.
And they did rule that a hit, so it is no error on the play, as that one's going to miss up high. There was an error last inning, too, on the throw down from Kozart down to Diaconto over at first. That allowed Tatum Levens to then pass down to second base. And so 2-0 count here to the batter and Jonathan Santucci, who we saw make his Cape Cod Baseball League debut on the mound the last time he faced off against the Commodores back on Sunday, opening day. And he pitched a really excellent game for the Mariners back on that opening night. Santucci ended up going 3 complete. That was the most among Harwich pitchers that night, the 5 who got in. Only gave up 1 hit, only walked 1 batter, and he struck out 2. So looking forward to seeing what he's able to do at the plate as well, as that one's going to miss down low. It's a 3-1 count now, hailing out of Leominster, Massachusetts, the Plastic City. Leominster, Massachusetts, Devin. That is where they first created the pink flamingo lawn ornament. Don't know if you knew that, but that is where that originates from. 3-1 count. That'll be hammered out to right field. That's going to get down into the outfield, cut off by the right fielder for Falmouth in Brutcher, but sliding into second base safely is going to be Santucci. It's a double to help push Kyle Teal up to third. Mariners now with 2 in scoring position in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Nobody out.
And really aggressive base running from Santucci that time, as that ball was hit. A nice field by Brutcher out there. He had it just as Santucci was rounding first. Santucci showing off the legs and diving in safely. I don't think Brutcher thought there was any chance of him going, as ball was cut off and barely even a close play.
And sometimes you use that to your advantage if you're a base runner. You know what a player might expect as a routine play, and so you kind of try to change it up a bit on him. And so it's now Chase Engelhard who steps in. Engelhard on the young season so far. This is the 2nd game in which he has gotten into. He played last against Falmouth on Sunday, went 1 for 4 with a run, and he had a triple on a ball that was hit out to center field. Took a 1-hop over cross factor. Was able to slide into third safely. This one's going to be chopped down the third base line. That's going to be foul, and the count is 1-1. White House Field enjoying its 2nd season with the brand new scoreboard that's out in right field. A beautiful addition to what was already a picturesque ballpark that has, and quite frankly, that was a scoreboard that needed some renovating, as the 1-1 is swung on and missed. It's a 1-2 count now. It's really old-fashioned style scoreboard. Didn't have the hang-up numbers that you might expect, where you'd put them on the hooks. You have somebody out there on a platform operating it manually, but did have bulbs that were operating as the numbers, and a lot of them were blown out. And so a very nice re-addition here, a re-up for the Mariners here at White House Field. As the 1-2 is going to be swung on in the dirt, dropped by Kozart. He'll have to throw to first, and he does. 1 away, as Kozart took a brief moment to check on Teal and Santucci briefly, just looked them off, keeps them tied to their bags, and so there's 1 away now here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
And that's just baseball IQ, you know. You got Wheels over there with Teal at third base, and he absolutely took a bigger secondary than normal with the intent of going home, but Kozart walks him back to the bag and then fires on to first, out number 1, and a much-needed one for Watts Brown.
And so it's now Danny Corona who comes up to bat. Corona This is his first start on the Cape. Got into the game yesterday. Subbed in over at second base as Peyton Green then went over to third base. Kenny Lavari was taken out of the game about midway through yesterday. And so the count here opens up at 0-1 to Corona. Couple of Demon Deacon down here. Corona, one of them, and Wilkin as well, as this one's going to be sliced back. That'll hit the fence. And we talked about the teammate connection. So great to have guys who have come to a Summer Ball League team before you. I remember talking to Cole Harding, member of the Cincinnati Bearcats, about his experience early on here in the Cape, and he said, well, he's talked to some of his old teammates about it. Bo Keithley, last year Mariner, Evan Shaver as well, Mariner last season. And so both of those guys just said a lot of great things about the organization, as that one's going to be fouled back by Corona. That'll get a piece of Cozart. Everybody will take a lap around home plate to make sure Cozart gets his seconds to shake that one off. It's an 0-2 count here to Corona, and Harwich finding themselves in a spot here. You got runners on second and third with nobody away, but now you're a pitch away from being down to your last out in the inning here. As Watts Brown trying to bounce back after what's been a rough start to the inning so far. Does have 3 strikeouts through his first inning and a third. The pitch. That's going to miss outside, and the count moves to 1-2.
And Harker, a teammate of Harding out there, both from Cincinnati, both Bearcats. So similar to what we talked about earlier, everybody seems to have a little buddy, either whether it's with the team or in another team.
The 1-2 pitch coming up here from Watts. That's going to skip in the dirt, and it's now 2-0. And we saw this a bit yesterday from Ramon Fajardo, the starter yesterday for Harwich, where you get ahead in the count. It's 0-2. He was getting ahead in some counts, but then it gets to a point where you start pitching around guys a bit too much, and we're seeing that here. Corona, he was down in the count, 0-2, but now Watts, he's evened up the count without making Corona work too much to take these pitches. They've been some pretty easy takes these past 2 balls. 2-2 comes home. That one much closer to the plate, a much nicer pitch that time from Watts. Did not catch the plate, however, and so the count runs full. 3 straight balls from Jerron Watts-Brown. Threw 7 straight back in the, 8 straight back in the first inning as he walked Tatum Levins and Gino Groover on 8 pitches back-to-back. Neither of them came home then. Got as far as first and second. Here's the 3-2. This one's going to be chopped foul, and we'll have to do it again. Looks like it maybe got a piece of Corona thereafter. Nonetheless, the at-bat stays alive. Corona, a nice at-bat here. Went down in the count early. We've talked about it, but some good takes here.
And as a hitter, when you're down 0-2 quickly and you're able to work the count full and make a quality at-bat out of something that could easily be a quick out for the pitcher, it's absolutely doing a great job of shortening their outing and will change the course of the game in the later innings.
Watts still comes set, holds the glove about hat height, then the waist. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the high fastball. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Jerron Watts-Brown. Impressive start to his game, bouncing back here in this inning after allowing first the single to Kyle Teal, then the double to Jonathan Santucci. And this is going to bring us back to the top of the order. Nick Goodwin up to bat, who on the first pitch he saw back in the bottom of the first inning, flew out to right field. The Mariners and Commodores traded first pitch outs in the first inning. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
And talk about timely strikeouts for Watts-Brown. He had second and third, nobody down. He gets back-to-back Ks. Not much more you can ask for. Of course, capitalizing on the 8 and 9 hitters in the Mariners lineup. But nonetheless, stranding those guys and being able to just get the out here, not worry about the run, pretty huge.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll be pushed the other way. Out toward no man's land in right. No, that's going to be shallow right field. Eddie Saldivar comes down with it, and that's the inning. The Mariners open up the inning with a single and a double, get Kyle Teal to third, Santucci over to second, but then Engelhard and Corona each strike out swinging, and Nick Goodwin pops out to second base to end the inning. The Mariners leave 2 on as we head now to the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball in a moment. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Back with you here now with the top of the third inning. It's the Falmouth Commodores back up to bat. First pitch from Seidel's in for a first pitch strike. And the count opens at 0-1. It's Jacob Cozart who's up to bat. So far, so good for Billy Seidel. His third inning of work, he has faced the minimum. 3 batters up and 3 batters down in each of the first 2 innings to go with 3 strikeouts. And he's ahead in the count here, 0-2. A very nice pitch over to the outside part of the plate to get Cozart to swing and fall behind further in the count.
Yeah, he's really locked in.
As the 0-2, that's going to miss outside. Tried to get him to chase after it. Seidel, we talked a bit about what he has on offer as a rotation. He's got that fastball slider changeup going. Couldn't get him with the slider that time. Let's see what he throws here. That one, fastball that runs inside. That's going to miss. So the count now 2-2.
Yeah, bottom of the order here, 7, 8, 9. Another trio that after going 6 for 6 with the first couple innings, this should not be too much of a challenge for Seidel the way he's been throwing the ball.
2-2 pitch is going to miss. And the count now 3-2. So similarly now here for Seidel, got ahead in the count 0-2, but has thrown 3 straight balls, and the count is now full rather. As here's the payoff pitch. Strike 3 call. Down goes Cozart. Right over the heart of the plate. Seidel able to blow it by him. Cozart didn't even take the bat off the shoulder. Very nice look from Seidel. As there's 1 away now. 4th strikeout of the day for Billy Seidel.
Yeah, finding his groove, just absolutely froze the hitter, and Cozart, nothing he can do there. He was hoping for ball 4, didn't want to swing it like you mentioned, Tim. Mariners will take it. 4th strikeout for Seidel. 7 up, 7 down.
Justin Jordan, however, tags this one right back up the middle on the first pitch he sees. And there's the first base runner of the afternoon here for the Commodores. It took the 8-hole hitter coming in to be able to get on base, but now there is some action on the base paths here for the Commodores. As it's Eddie Saldivar now who steps in. He'll take a first pitch ball. Saldivar so far on the season for the Commodores. When you take a look at what he's been able to do for Falmouth to this point in the season, batting .250, 2 hits on 8 at-bats. He's struck out 3 times as well. As the 1-0 comes in and misses, so it's now a 2-0 count.
Yeah, Saldivar, a guy who we saw at the top of the order back when they played them in the first game. Now in the 9 spot here. Almost a second leadoff hitter. He's going to get going for sure. They know it.
The 2-0 pitch, that is over the plate. That's good for the first strike of the at-bat. So Seidel, this is the first batter he's faced in which he's had a man on first. See how he stays settled here. Was able to retire the first 7. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 2. That high fastball. Saldivar could not keep up with it. And so the count evens out. Seidel stares at home and delivers. Called strike 3. 5th strikeout of the day for Billy Seidel. And there's 2 away now here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, Saldivar didn't like it. It's a 50-50 pitch in my mind, too. Looked to be just around the knee area. Tough from the angle we're at. But, yeah, close pitch. And the call goes to Seidel. 2 down.
And so, next man up, we're back to the top of the order here. It'll be Alex Mooney, who lined out to left on the first pitch of the ball game. He'll take a pitch this time, and he'll watch it cross over home plate. It's an 0-1 count here to open up to Mooney. Now, Mooney didn't mention his numbers last time he came up to bat. Didn't have a whole lot of time. Batting .333 so far on the young season for the Commodores. 3 for 9. As the next pitch misses. No, it's in rather, excuse me. As it's an 0-2 count right now. 2 away, Seidel trying to end the inning. He's already got 2 strikeouts here in the inning.
Mooney, a pair of hits last night in the loss. Just 4 hits for the Commodores last night, and half of them came from the bat of this leadoff hitter and Alex Mooney.
It's been hot to start the year so far. haven't allowed a run yet. 0-2 pitch. That's going to miss well outside. Seidel tried to get him to chase with the slider. Couldn't find the strike zone or anywhere near enticing enough for Mooney to offer. And no runs given up by Katuitt. No earned runs given up yet by Hyannis. But as I say that, of course, that was through the first 2 games of the season. Katuitt is trailing the Bourne Braves 4-3 at the moment. As the 1-2 comes in, that'll miss in the dirt. Runner goes down to second, and Justin Jordan, he'll slide in safely. No chance at a contestation from Tatum Levens. And so, count now 2-2, man on second.
Yeah, Bourne on top, like you said. That game in the bottom of the 7th, Brewster leads YD 3-1 at Red Wilson Field in the top of the 8th. Of course, tied 0-0 here. Orleans up 1-0 against the Gatemen in the 3rd. Anglers and Harborhawks tied at 0 in the 1st.
2-2 count here, 2 outs. Wind blowing gently out toward left field. Time's going to be called here as they go through the signs once again in a moment. And so they'll reset. Seidel back on the mound. He'll come set. Stares down toward home and delivers. That's going to just miss outside, and so the count now is 3-2. Seidel hasn't walked anybody yet today. The only man who's gotten on is Justin Jordan. He stands on second, had a 1-out single right back up the middle. Seidel's been able to strike out 2 so far in the inning. Looking for number 3, the pitch. That's going to be fouled off and out of play. That's going to come down over toward the berm. Some fans trying to dodge out of the way of that one, as I'm sure a flock of children soon to pursue that ball. And the count remains 3-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning.
And a little teammate on teammate. Blue Devil on Blue Devil. Who's going to win this one?
Seidel stares in. The pitch. Did he go? No, he did not, says first base umpire and Michael Farman. And so that'll put a runner on first base. Mooney able to get the better of his fellow Blue Devil just then. As this will bring up the center fielder, Cross Factor. Runners now on first and second here for the Commodores. After the first 7 were retired, they've been able to get 2 on here in the 3rd inning.
Just remind you of Cross Factor's stats. Went to Oklahoma City University, went to Oklahoma State, and then transferred, but hit .525 this season.
Here's the first pitch to him, and that's going to miss. And so the count is going to open at 1-0.
His average only dipped as low as .509. Really just was hot all season long.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss down low. Levin's having to slide over to his right as well to stop that one. So it's a 2-0 count here. So Seidel, he had a good start to the inning. 2 strikeouts out of the first 3 batters he faced, but then he just walked Mooney after a lengthy at-bat, in which Mooney was able to fight off a good number of pitches, and now here to Cross Factor, falling behind in the count. And that's also going to miss inside. The 2-0 misses on the inside part of the plate. Seidel, he's been trying to find that inside part. Hasn't found a whole lot of success quite yet right on the inside portion of the plate. And he's behind the count now, 3-0. Seidel stares home, and the pitch. That's right over the heart of the plate, and that's going to be good for a strike, and the count moves to 3-1.
3 hits in the ball game, 1 for Falmouth, 2 for Harwich. Neither team on the board yet. Cross Factor, a guy who very well could change that here.
He's got a runner in scoring position right now in Justin Jordan. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's going to be ball 4. Conversation on the mound now as Tatum Levens will step out, and the base is now juiced here for Falmouth. Maui Ahuna, perhaps one of the last people that Harwich wants to see coming up in this spot, coming up to bat.
And yeah, we saw Watts Brown get out of it last inning. No outs, 2nd and 3rd, didn't allow a run. Now Seidel's got to respond in what's been a pitching duel thus far. But Ahuna climbing in, played for the Kansas Jayhawks this season, and just kind of shocked the NCAA world when he announced he's transferring to Tennessee, who was actually just eliminated from the NCAA tournament. But yeah, he will be a volunteer next year.
As the first pitch comes in, and Ahuna swinging. Can't find any of it. He falls behind 0-1. Talked about it a bit during his last at-bat. A Commodore last season batted .353. 6 hits on 17 at-bats. Came across the score 5 times. As that pitch is going to be in for a strike. And so the count now is 0-2. Seidel a pitch away from getting out of the jam. The Mariner faithful starting to get a bit louder here, trying to encourage Seidel to close this one out. 0-2 count, 2 away. Top of the third inning, bases loaded for Ahuna. Seidel takes a deep breath, stares home, and the pitch. That'll be fouled off the end of the bat over toward the Mariner dugout. And count stays at 0-2.
2 seasons he played for the Jayhawks, hit .357 in his career, .396 in this past season. And a guy who played 103 career games, those numbers, as high as they are, that's consistency. You got to love it in your 3 spot.
No, it's really impressive what Ahuna does as the 0-2 sails past Levens. That's going to get back to the backstop, and that's going to bring home a run. In from third is Justin Jordan, and it's the Commodores who strike first here in Harwich. 1-0 Falmouth in the top of the third inning. Advancing over to third is Mooney, and up to second now is Cross Factor, so everybody's able to advance on the wild pitch from Seidel. And that's going to cost his team a run.
Yeah, and one of the most frustrating things in baseball is unforced errors. He just airmails that one by Levens. He's got 2 strikes on the batter, 2 outs. Really unfortunate for him. Let's see how he can respond, though. Got to stay mentally tough.
Still 1 pitch away as that's going to get him. Just caught the outside part of the plate. Strike 3 called. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Billy Seidel. He's up to 6 on the game. But a wild pitch brings in Justin Jordan, and the Mariners are down 1-0 after 2.5. We head to the bottom of the third inning. We'll be back with you in just a moment. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back into White House Field here in beautiful Harwich, Massachusetts. It'll be Tatum Levens due up first here for Harwich. Gino Groover and Joe Vitrano each also slated to come up to bat in this inning. Well, Billy Seidel, he got into a bit of a jam last inning as this first pitch is going to skip away from the glove of Cozart, and the count opens at 1-0. Walked 2 batters in Mooney and Factor, and then it's Justin Jordan, who got on before them with a single, was on third, came home on a wild pitch, and so pitched himself into a bit of a jam, and it ultimately cost Harwich a run. But this is a Harwich team that only 2 runs yesterday, but we look up and down this lineup, and there's a lot of really good names with some production value here, and so you can perhaps expect Harwich to try to make that up at some point sooner rather than later. As the 1-1 comes in, that's going to catch the outside part of the plate. Tatum Levens gives it a little shrug as it's a 1-2 count now. Levens, his last at-bat, got onto first with a walk, and then was able to scuttle down to second base as the ball was thrown over the head of the first baseman. This one's going to skip in the dirt just blocked off by Cozart. But skipped over the head of the first baseman on the throw down to first from Cozart as he tried to pick Levens off at first. So then help to get him down to the second base. The 2-2 pitch. That's going to miss down low. And so the count runs full now here at 11s, trying to draw his second walk of the game.
Yeah, one of 4 Mariners that has been stranded here thus far. And they'd really like to get on the board here. Falmouth in front.
Called strike 3. Able to find the strike zone closer to the outside part, but he got him. As there's now 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
And we've seen a bit of a liberal zone from Himajosa. But, yeah, it's been consistent. That's one thing you got to have from an ump. But anytime you see a catcher watch multiple strikes in an at-bat, you got to think maybe it's a little bit more than they're used to because they're the ones that are most comfortable with the zone heading in there.
Gino Groover digs in now, takes one in a little tight, and the count opens up at 1-0. Groover also able to draw a walk his last at-bat as that one thrown well high outside. It'll be just picked out by Cozart, able to hold on to it. Jerron Watts-Brown, it's been an interesting mix from him. We've gotten some pitches like that where it's been a little out of the range of Cozart, but at the same time, he's got 5 strikeouts so far, and he's able to get Groover to swing and miss, and so it's now a 2-1 count. 5 strikeouts through his first 2 and a third pitched so far. And I mean, his strikeout stuff has looked good, but Harwich, they've yet to really just been able to capitalize, string together the right amount of hits so far. It's a 2-1 count. That's going to miss outside, and so it's now a 3-1 count.
But yeah, got to tip your cap. As you mentioned, 2 2/3, 5 strikeouts. If my math is correct, that is, 5 of 8.
As that one's going to miss outside, ball 4, and that's going to put Gino Groover on base for the second time today. Able to draw a walk, Groover. Did not get on yesterday, so a nice change of pace already here for him today. That's the 3rd walk Groover's been able to draw this season. Had one last time out against Falmouth. Also had a hit in that last game against Falmouth, but a walk, you take it. It's as good as a single in regards to getting on base, and so there he stands. Now Joe Vitrano up to bat. He was the first strikeout victim of Jerron Watts-Brown. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be popped up, headed out towards center field. That's rather shallow. Charging in is Factor. He's able to get underneath it. Cross Factor running in to try to make that play. It was a soft hit ball, a pop fly out toward center field, but Factor able to come in with just enough speed to record the out, and there's 2 away.
The way everyone reacted off the bat on the defensive side of things, we saw no flinch from the shortstop Mooney or the second baseman Saldivar. That one looked to be hit pretty shallow, and then you see Factor come flying in. They're fortunate to have that out, though. Good range from Factor, and probably had a chance at Gino Groover if he took a shot at first base. Groover had the same thought as we did. Maybe it would fall in there.
As Tommy Seidel now comes up to bat, the first offering to him will miss up high, and the count is 1-0. Seidel also struck out swinging last inning. He was the second of 2 strikeouts that Jerron Watts-Brown was able to record to end that first inning. He's on a 2-game hitting streak, had that solo shot yesterday against Chatham. That was the last run that the Mariners were able to score yesterday. It was not a great look for Harwich yesterday at the plate. As it's a 1-1 count. Watts-Brown stares in and delivers. That's going to miss up high. It's a 2-1 count now.
Seidel's been eager to get back in the box after having an opportunity back in the first inning in which they had 2 on, and he was unable to get him over. He's got another chance here with a speedy runner and Groover the third on first.
2-1 pitch. That's going to be put out towards center field. Popped up. Cross Factor underneath it. Much easier play this time around. There's 1 left on for the Mariners as we head now to the top of the 4th inning. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball in just a minute. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back to White House Field here in Harwich, Massachusetts, as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Allow me to pass play-by-play duties off to my broadcast partner, Devin Dobik. Devin?
Thank you, Tim. Liam Sullivan, the big dog, or big bulldog from the University of Georgia, 6'6", 245 climbing in. Went 4-3 this season with a 4.62 ERA, 12 starts in 12 appearances, 48 and 2/3 innings, 51 strikeouts to just 20 walks. Count is even at 1-1 now to the new hitter and Drew Brutcher climbing in. That one misses up high, and it's quickly 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, he is a tower out on that mound right now. Certainly an intimidating presence to have to stare down as a batter in the batter's box. Never mind, he's 6'6". He's also up on the mound.
Yeah, we mentioned he went to Georgia, but his high school numbers are incredible. Obviously, COVID spoiled his senior season, but his junior year, he went 10-1 with a 1.41 ERA and 78 strikeouts in 51 innings. He also hit .336 with 4 homers and 35 runs batted in. 2-2 pitch. Caught on and missed. Liam Sullivan gets the job done. His first strikeout of his CCBL career, and there's one away in the Falmouth fourth.
Yeah, nice pitch up high, fastball, able to get him to chase. And, you know, it always blows my mind the way that you see players, they're excellent two-way players in high school. And then you force them almost to have to choose one or the other when they get to college. I mean, you get guys like Santucci who, you know, he's batting in the lineup here tonight, and he's already pitched earlier this season. But sometimes it's a shame to have guys give up one aspect of their game because they're so proficient both ways.
That one in there at the knees for strike one. The batter is Mckenzie. He grounded out to second back in the second inning. And for Drew Brutcher, he struck out twice here tonight. That one on the inside corner. Yeah, it seems, from my angle, it seems to be a little inside, but like we said, keeping it consistent, and it's no balls and 2 strikes now to Mckenzie.
I mean, as a hitter, that allows you to adjust over the course of the game.
Check swing in there, rung up by the home plate umpire. Back-to-back strikeouts for Liam Sullivan, who is locked in here. Quickly 2 down for Angelo Diaconto.
Yeah, I mean, I really like what we're seeing so far from Liam Sullivan. He was able to get the fastball to go up high, blow it by him for the strikeout, and then this time goes a bit lower, right over the heart of the plate, but still just nothing Anthony Mckenzie wanted a part of, and he was rung up on it. Really good start here for Sullivan.
Sullivan tosses another one right in there. Really wasting no time with these batters. Last strikeout, a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 pitches. And up here 0-1 on Diaconto. Swung on and missed. 0-2. A fastball. Liam Sullivan featuring a fastball, slider, and changeup that we'll see here tonight. But yeah, he's just been gassing hitters to start here.
Yeah, heavy diet of the fastball.
And there it is. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. Liam Sullivan, in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut, strikes out a whole side of Commodores. We head to the home half of the fourth. Mariners looking to answer. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Home half of the fourth. Kyle Teal set to lead things off here. Mariners still with just 2 hits in the ball game. Both those came in the second inning. Teal had one of them, a single in which he was stranded at third. He was there for all 3 outs. No one able to get him the extra 90 feet. Trying to get on for his bats here again. Santucci on deck. He had the other hit. It was a double. That one comes in. Might have caught a piece of Cozart. And it's 2-0.
Yeah, not the first one tonight. That's been tough for Cozart to handle. It's been a bit of a running theme here from Jerron Watts-Brown. But Harwich, yes, frustrated with that inning earlier in which Teal was left on third. But you get some satisfaction from the fact that Liam Sullivan was able to just come in and strike out the side in a beautiful manner after he came in for Billy Seidel, who his day, as we closed the book on him very quickly here, 3 complete innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 6. Seidel looked good, gave up just the 1 wild pitch that helped to bring in the run for Falmouth.
Yeah, good night for Seidel, other than the unforced error on the wild pitch. Pretty solid outing. They'll take 3 strong whenever they can. And a walk issued there. That one got away from Cozart once again. Not sure what's going on. Beautiful night here in Harwich. Shade taking over White House Field. Of course, the scoreboard's still lit up by the sun, which is something pretty cool. 71 degrees currently. Should dive down to the mid-60s by the end of the ball game. First pitch to Santucci, cut on and missed, just like he started him out the last time with a high fastball. And it's 0-1.
And Santucci, a similar spot here, comes up with a relatively fresh inning. Teal on first, see what he can do with it. Really nice base running last time he was out.
Checked his swing. Yes, he did, says the third base umpire. Right call there. A tough position when you're out by second base being the field umpire and asked to, on a swing appeal, decide if it was he went or not, but I think he made the right call there. No balls, 2 strikes. Teal at first. That one misses outside. A good pitch to waste, especially with the zone we've seen. We've seen a lot of players rung up already here tonight on outside strikes. That one just a little more outside than Watts-Brown probably would have liked. 1-2 pitch to the Duke Blue Devil. That's chopped and I think got a piece of our home plate umpire. He'll have to walk it off. Take some time and yeah, I think he got a piece of his hand. Seems to be a little ginger.
Yeah, Hinojosa looking at that hand right now. He may actually call out to the trainer. There was an instance I remember, as we have a moment here, last summer with the Mariners, in which relatively identical situation in which a ball was fouled back to the home plate umpire. But it had caught him, and he had to actually exit the game altogether.
Wow.
I remember it was a relatively lengthy delay too. I mean, I think it took them probably about maybe 10, 15 minutes to figure out whether or not the umpire was even going to be able to continue in the ball game. And then at that point, they had to take the time to actually swap out the equipment for the umpire, because you had the first base umpire who then came down and started calling the balls and strikes. And so unfortunate when this stuff happens. You know, that's why so often you see right after a foul ball, it ends up catching a catcher or an umpire. You know, the other will start to, you know, walk around. They'll take a few steps toward the mound, throw out a ball, dust off home plate perhaps. You know, you're right there in the line of fire, right behind home plate. And, you know, it's an added level of danger when you have somebody whose intention it is to redirect the ball entirely from its course. And so it's always tough to know whether or not you're going to get hit any given pitch. But a tip of the cap to Mike Hinojosa as he will step back behind home plate. I'm sure it's not the first time he's been hit by a pitch, but you do sometimes get a stinger that's worse than the rest. So he'll head up home plate once again here.
And one of the few places that's not padded, of course. You know, you think about everything they're wearing, probably double their body weight.
Yep.
And that one just finds some skin, and luckily he is okay, as you mentioned, Tim. But he's going to ring up Santucci, wasting no time to pull out his best punch out. And Santucci rung up. There's one away here in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an impressive pitch considering the circumstance. If you're Duron Watts-Brown, bit of an odd situation in which you have a brief delay in the middle of one of your innings that you're not fully used to in the middle of a count as well at that. And so really nice job to come right back. And Santucci perhaps caught a bit off with the unexpected break in action.
That one catches the outside corner for strike one to the hitter, Chase Engelhard. Struck out swinging back in the second. Rising junior at Tulane University. He's held down second for the Mariners, I believe, in all 3 games to start here, Tim. As he rips this one over the leaping Mooney into left field, rounding second, heading into third is Teal. Big turn, but back into first safely is Engelhard. He rips a one-out single, and there's runners at the corners here for the Mariners.
Yeah, that was lined perfectly right into the outfield, just beyond any possible range of motion for Alex Mooney. Impossible for him to reel that one back in. And Mariners now with runners on the corners here. This is just how you want to respond after Falmouth. Granted, that was back in the top of the third. Here we are in the bottom of the fourth. But you don't want to wait too long to start putting some more pressure on, and that's just what Harwich has done here.
Yeah, they really have done a great job. Of course, everybody seeing Watts-Brown for a second time. They've seen what he's got. He does have a fair amount of strikeouts, up to 6 on the afternoon, or evening rather, and they are going to go to the bullpen. And we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, let's meet the new Falmouth Commodore wing. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. New pitcher called to the bullpen. It'll be Chase Jeter, 5'10", 185 pounds, from Sacred Heart University. Went to Weetag, Connecticut, or at least that's where he grew up. And this season for the Pioneers went 5-3 with a 5.04 ERA across 12 starts. And he delivers strike one there. 60 2/3 innings, 70 hits, and 43 strikeouts. The day is done for Watts Brown. We'll get that line to you in a moment. The 0-1. That one lifted out to left field, trying to stay fair, and it is. Fielded now by Jordan. 1 run in to score, a runner into third, safe. Good throw would have had him, just slipped by Mckenzie, and it'll be a double for Corona.
Yeah, Justin Jordan out in left tried to hose down Engelhard over at third, but his throw was closer to the mound than it was third. Fortunately enough for the Mariners, they were able to save a run. But a really nice job done by Corona to take advantage of the brand-new pitcher. Falls behind in the count quickly, 0-1, but then pushes one out opposite field and is able to get Harwich back even here with the Commodores.
Beautiful piece of hitting. Corona's first run batted in of the year, and a timely spot for it. Watts Brown will get credit for the earned run. Still responsible for the runner on third in Engelhard. A ball and no strikes to Nick Goodwin, who's been one of the hottest Mariners this season. Although tonight he's flied out to right and flied out to the second baseman, Saldivar.
I'll be curious to know if they score that a single or a double. It was a double. Figure maybe because the throw was offline over toward the mound, but it was a double, so very nice double there for Corona.
Mariners up to 4 hits. Meanwhile, Falmouth struggles continue. They have just 1 hit thus far through 4 complete innings. Had just 4 last night in the shutout loss to Cotuit. The 1-1 is fouled back to the netting, and it's 1-2. Taking a look around the Cape Cod Baseball League, Cotuit up 6-4. They come back, score 3 straight in the bottom of the 8th. That one out in Cotuit. 1-2 pitch. Bounce in the dirt, 2-2. Brewster on top of YD, 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th. Orleans up 1-0 on Wareham in the top of the 5th. And the Hyannis Harbor Hawks knotted up with the Chatham Anglers out at Veterans Field. That game in the bottom of the 3rd. Big pitch coming for Jeter. 2-2. This one lifted into center field, but right at cross factor. Runner tagging and scoring easily to give the Mariners a 2-1 lead. Engelhard in the score. And staying at second is Corona. And a sacrifice fly for Nick Goodwin. Mariners will take it.
Yeah, job well done. If you're Nick Goodwin, all you need to do is just get it into the outfield, give your guy over at third and Engelhard enough time to come in on the hit, and that's exactly what he did. You know, and this is a really tough spot to begin with for Jeter to have come into. Runners on the corners, and sometimes you're going to be put into these high leverage situations as a reliever. And unfortunately for him, you know, got jumped on the double by Danny Corona as he came in, and then by that point, the sac fly enough to bring home another run. And so 2 have come across here, both of which charged to Jerron Watts Brown. So as that pitch comes in and skips in the dirt, it's a 1-0 count. His final line looked like this. Jerron Watts, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, gave up 2 runs, both of which were earned, allowed 4 walks, and did strike out 6. He had some good strikeout stuff, but his control was a bit all over the map here today.
Yeah, very consistently inconsistent day for the young right-hander in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut. But definitely was strong through the first 3 innings. Just caught up to him in the 4th. 2-0 to the batter, Tatum Levens, trying to tack on another one for Harwich. He watches a pitch on the outside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, didn't have any interest in swinging at that one, but that's a pitch we have seen called a strike all day long. And so, nice pitch there from Chase Jeter, able to find the zone and avoid a 3-0 hole.
Jeter sets and delivers. Levens grounds this one over to Saldivar. He collects right in the chest and fires on the first. Score that, a 4-3 putout. But the Mariners score 2 and take the lead 2-1 here at White House. we go to the 5th inning. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. 7-8-9 due up for the Commodores. Devin Dobeck, Tim Foley bringing you the action from the home opener here in Harwich at White House Field. A beautiful Tuesday night. The 3rd consecutive game both teams have played. First off day of the season will be tomorrow. This one is hit high, but hanging up very long enough for Seidel, and he puts that one away with ease for out number 1.
Yeah, he had enough time to read a book over there. That thing was skyrocketed out his way. Plenty of time. And Sullivan continuing his good start here so far.
Yeah, Sullivan has been fantastic. Number 51 recruit in Georgia, and number 7 amongst lefties, according to Perfect Game. And really pitching like a true shutdown bullpen man right now. 4 up, 4 down, and 3 of them by way of the K. His stuff has been nasty. 0-1 to the new hitter in Justin Jordan, as this one chopped foul off to the left. Jordan, the only hit for the Commodores and also the only run in the 8th spot here tonight. He'd like to ignite the Falmouth offense here as their hitting woes continue. Talk to their broadcasters, Logan, Trey, and Carter pregame, and yeah, they just said Falmouth's had a really difficult time with the bats, and it's gone to show as they start the season off 0-2. They trail here at White House. Still plenty of time and only a 1-run game, but just not the ideal start you want.
No, definitely not. And, last inning, hurt him, and that they're now, down here is.
That pitch misses down below for a 1-2 count.
And, runs have really been coming at a premium for them. It's been very tough. Shutout against Cotuit. They only had the 2 against Harwich. And so, and just the 1 here through 4 1/3.
This pitch is hit into shallow right field. Seidel taking a few steps in, and he puts that one away. He's had a little action here in the 5th, but 2 outs nonetheless for Liam Sullivan.
And Falmouth is getting a little bit of a taste of what Harwich had to deal with last night, in a sense, where they're just being completely shut down here. I mean, they've only had more than 3 batters come up to bat in an inning once. That was back in the 3rd when they got that 1 run across. Otherwise, the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and so far 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th. It's been so far excellent here for Harwich pitching.
And in that 3rd, they had 6 batters come up. 2 of them were fortunate enough to walk, and then the wild pitch is the only reason Jordan even scored. They really have not even been putting the ball in play that much. 8 of them have gone down by way of the K. We're just through 4 2/3 here. As that one in there for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes now to the 9-hitter Eddie Saldivar. He struck out looking back in the 3rd. 1-2 pitch. This one is lifted foul off to the left. But yeah, 4 2/3, 14 batters, 8 of those outs coming by a strikeout. Something that will definitely come. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again. These players are in the league for one reason. It's that they can hit. As a beautiful pitch from Liam Sullivan. He is rung up. 9th strikeout by the Falmouth Commodores. 4 at the hands of Liam Sullivan. We head to the home half of the 5th. Harwich up 2-1 after a quick top half. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. 3-4-5 due up for Harwich. Gino Groover III, Joe Vitrano, and Tommy Seidel. As Gino Groover III looks at strike 1. Chase Jeter back out there for the Commodores. Finally a clean slate for him. No one on. He'll get a fresh inning after he was thrown in with a couple runners responsible for by Watts Brown. Bounces this one in the dirt. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot better here as a reliever now. You get that fresh inning. But if you're Harwich, you don't really want to be content here with this 1-run lead. Yeah, your pitching's been excellent to this point, but just, the nature of the sport is that things can take a turn at any point in time. And so you want to try to add on a few more here and see what you can do to extend this lead and make it easier on your relievers down the stretch.
2-1 pitch, misses and gets by Kozar. It's 3-1.
Boy, he has had a busy day back there. It was a lot of pitches thrown all over the place by Watts Brown, and then here against Jeter as well for Kozar.
I would say it's less of a he and more of a they. Home plate umpire's been drilled as well. As that pitch drops in there, account is worked full.
It's been a very busy day. You mentioned it, yes, the umpire.
Gino has walked twice and been stranded at first both those times. And the 3-2 pitch is chopped foul over to the left. And he'll get another life here.
Yeah, let's see Harwich start to extend these at-bats here. Again, new pitcher in the game. Came in late in that last inning. Try to work him a bit more, get the pitch count up, get some guys who are familiar with what he's throwing.
Payoff pitch is lifted out to center field. Shouldn't be much trouble for Cross Factor as he's under that one for out number 1.
Yeah, easy pop-up for Factor to be able to handle. But even still, you take an at-bat like that from Groover. He was able to foul a good deal off, and so continuing to just work the pitcher here.
Joe Vitrano will climb in. Rising junior at Boston College. 7 at-bats coming into today and 3 hits for the Mariners. He had a team-high 429 average. He's gone 0 for 2 here today with a swinging strikeout and fly out to center. Down to 333 now. No balls and 1 strike to him. Had an RBI double last night. Ball and a strike to him. 1 out here in the Mariner 5th.
Yeah, quiet so far today from Vetrano as well as Seidel, 2 guys who have done well so far at the plate, so they're both looking to get going. And maybe against a guy other than Watts Brown.
This one lifted foul off to the left, and count is 1-2. Another Massachusetts baseball news, the Red Sox on top of the Oakland A's, 2-0. That game into the 3rd inning now. Red Sox have won 8 of their last 10. Great road trip they had, and they'd like to build on that in the American League 3rd wild card right now. Vetrano flies this one into right center field, a base hit. And Joe Vetrano with a 1-out single for the 5-hitter and Tommy Seidl.
That was a really soft single from Vetrano, a guy who you might expect to tear the cover off the ball whenever he makes contact with it. That thing just sort of floated over the head of Eddie Saldivar over at second base. He just kind of watched it pass by him. He reacted so casually, I figured it was going to be a routine ball right over to him, but just kept lifting beyond him. Really an interesting hit ball and perfectly placed right into the outfield, and Mariners with a man on first, only 1 away.
As grounded over to the shortstop, Mooney goes to second for 1. Saldivar on to first, not in time. As the wheels for Seidel allow the Commodores to only settle for 1. Vetrano heads back to the dugout, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, Falmouth thought they were going to get 2 there. As you mentioned, though, really good speed from Seidel, the outfielder, able to leg that one out, gets down to first base and is able to extend the inning and keep a man on for a man who is always a threat, Kyle Teal, who has bounced back nicely here today after having a rough go of it yesterday. Was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts against Chatham.
There goes the runner. Throw down, can't be picked by Mooney. Pop-up slide allows safely into third base. Goes Tommy Seidl. Great heads-up base running. That's why they tell you to pop-up slide. Mooney on the throw down had trouble picking it. Him and Cozart on the different pages. Same thing there. And now a runner 90 feet away from making this a 3-1 ball game here with 2 outs.
Yeah, and Seidel, excellent job sliding into that base, popping up as you put it, Devin, and then excellent awareness to realize that Saldivar was nowhere near that ball to back it up, as he was able to then skip by him into the outfield. If Saldivar is there and he makes that stop, then Seidel's still standing on second right now, and Falmouth has a little less to worry about instead of a man 90 feet away, a wild pitch away, after on a night where the ball control's been all over the place.
2 balls and a strike, and yeah, definitely a wild night of pitches. But Harwich, it's going to be one of those gritty games. 5 hits in 5 innings. But looking to escape with a win here on opening day from White House Field. That one ran inside, almost got a piece of Teal. And we talked about it last game a little bit, but Teal does the Soto shuffle a little bit. Not able to do it there, as that one up and in. Can't really turn in after that ball. But yeah, definitely something fun to watch. Love when a player show a little personality on the ball field. 3-1 pitch. Foul tipped. That one got a piece of both the catcher and umpire, but luckily in a padded part. And count has worked full now, 3-2.
I mean, so great to see personality from players. Of course, you know, there's a lot of talk these days about how much personality should be shown in baseball in regards to bat flips and, you know, home run trots, whatnot, what have you. But, you know, I mean, I think that's the way the game's going, and I think you need more personality in the game. Of course, in a respectful as possible way. Yeah,
as ball 4 issued there, 3-2 pitch, and there's runner at the corners now with 2 away. And, yeah, you know, I might take that opinion a little backwards. I feel like in the game, there used to be way more personality. I mean, think of all the times that there was bench clearing, and I mean brawls.
Oh, yeah.
And now we see the umpires stepping in and taking care of everything. Out in Seattle the other night, both dugouts were going at each other. Laz Diaz sent warnings immediately. I don't even know if there was that many bad things said. And Devers home run trot. Seattle didn't like it, and they did something worse. So, yeah, there's definitely a little chippiness, but much less than there used to be. So whenever you're able to work in a little personality, it definitely adds to the game. A ball and no strikes to Santucci. He has doubled and struck out looking thus far. This pitch misses down low, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you in that, things used to be a lot crazier, and that really goes for all sports. You think about it, you hear about all these veteran players saying that the game used to be just so much more
80s
physical.
and 90s hoops
80s
especially.
And 90s, you get a lot more elbows, maybe some tinfoil in the gloves if you're a hockey player. And so it's the game's gone a different way. It's more skill-oriented. You always see umpires intervening before there's really any issue. That's across all sports, umpires, referees, officials of any degree. And I think it leads to a lot of flashy highlights, but, there are a lot of people who kind of miss the old days.
Santucci chops this one over to the second baseman, Saldivar. He fires on to first base. Another bang-bang play, but the Commodores get out of the jam. No run score. Mariners will have to go back on the defensive side of things. Top of the sixth, Liam Sullivan coming out for more work here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Devin Dobek, Tim Foley here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 2-1 Harwich here in the top of the sixth. Alex Mooney, top of the order, will get his first chance to see Liam Sullivan. 6 up, 6 down for Sullivan thus far. And Mooney puts this one in an awkward area. Sullivan having to dig it out, but he's not going to get there in time. He disagrees with the call. I think he might be wrong on that one. Mooney, some great speed. Gino Groover tried to get it over to Sullivan in time, but it'll be an infield single for Alex Mooney. The second hit of the ball game for Falmouth.
Yeah, I think the thinking there for Sullivan was that he maybe got him with the glove prior to the batter and Mooney tagging the first base bag with his foot, but first base umpire Michael Farman indicating otherwise. And it's a situation where Harwich, they had a bit of a shift on. There was a big gap in between first and second, right where that ball was hit. And so it was tough to try to make that play. And so Falmouth able to capitalize, and they now have the tying run on first.
Mooney does have a stolen base this season, and with the lack of offense we've seen from Falmouth, you'll be interested to see if he is set in motion. This pitch misses upside, and count even up at 1-1.
Yeah, you'll see that at times. Teams need to manufacture runs when the bats just aren't working. I mean, we're about halfway through this game now here, top of the sixth inning, and you only have 2 hits.
Pitch is flied foul off to the left, and now 1-2 to Cross Factor. Cross has struck out swinging and walked and been stranded back in the third. A guy who is going to break through sooner or later It's been relatively quiet this season. 125 hitter. That pitch just misses off the plate. Close one, but it's 2-2.
And Falmouth right now does have an arm warming in the bullpen. Looks as though that is going to be Jacob Meyer for the Commodores.
This pitch probably broke the bat. Groover goes to second for one. No play at first base. Cross very quick. And out at second is Mooney. A nice play by Groover. Really had to put that one on him. Look for a second. It might go over the head of Corona. But it's another out. One away for Falmouth. The lead runner set down. And fielder's choice puts Cross Factor on first.
Yeah, I like the decision there to just get the lead runner. You had plenty of time. It was hard enough hit right at Groover that he was able to make the decision down to second base. But, yeah, really nice stretch by Corona to be able to actually secure the out.
A ball and no strikes now to Ahuna. Talk about a guy who's due. He struck out both swinging and looking here tonight in 2 at-bats. But a career .357 hitter for the Gators. You know he's going to get a hold of a baseball sooner or later. Count is 1-1. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors for Falmouth. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the Mariners. As now Ahuna down 1-2. Sullivan 2 is set, and the pitch. That one chopped foul back to the netting. And we'll do the 1-2 again. Ahuna, not a huge guy, 6'1", 175. Pretty skinny for a 3-hitter, but man, is he a contact guy. It's going to be very valuable for the Commodores this season. His count evened up at 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, just to get him back onto the Cape, it's always interesting to see what guys do their second time around, whenever you get that sample size the first time.
There goes the runner. Throw down from Levins is right on target, but the foot got under the tag of Corona. Ball beat him, but Danny Corona, I think, just missed the tag. Count has worked full. Cross Factor picks up his first stolen base of the season. And Ahuna now with a full count. He can be he can't be selective rather, but he can either watch ball 4 go by and get himself on, or find a way to get an RBI single or more here.
Yeah, that was just a really nice slide from Factor.
And he punches out swinging, his 3rd of the evening. And there's 2 away. Liam Sullivan picks up his 5th strikeout.
Yeah, it's been a tough day at the plate. You said it, 3 strikeouts for Ahuna. He's trying to find what he had a bit last year for the Commodores, but it just has not been working out for him here. As up to bat now, Drew Brutcher. But for Ahuna here, I mean, it's his first game back for Falmouth this season. So he's trying to get back into the swing of things. And just nothing going yet.
Not quite as Brutcher, another guy, your cleanup hitter. Your 3 and 4 hitters have combined for 5 strikeouts. Ahuna with 3 of them, Brutcher with 2, and he's now in the hole 0-2. So definitely some lineup changes will be made, I'm sure, by Falmouth in the next game. Again, everybody a pretty decent hitter, but sometimes when you're struggling, you just got to face the fact and move yourself in the lineup, get that confidence back up. So the 0-2 misses outside. Factor down at second. He would be the tying run if Brutcher is able to find a place for this one in the outfield. Sullivan to his set. 1-2 delivery. Fouled off to the left, and well, we see a little guy in an LSU shirt fly around back to go after that one. I think he's going to get the short end of the stick, though. Looks like might not have won that race.
One of the things that I love is that, the kids who go chase after foul balls, they're really intelligent about it. If it's a lefty up to bat, they'll all head off to the left side of the foul territory here. If it's a righty, they'll head off to the right.
1-2 pitch, grounded over to Engelhard. He makes a running play on the first, and no harm, no foul. No runs on 1 hit and 1 left on. Liam Sullivan, through his 3rd inning of work, has only faced 10 Commodores. We head to the home half of the 6th. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Call to the bullpen here as Engelhard, Kuroda, and Goodwin due up. It'll be Jacob Meyer climbing in. Jacob 6'2", 220 from Columbus, Indiana. Went to Columbus North High School. And he's set to face off against Engelhard, who has struck out swinging and singled and scored.
Yeah, brand new pitcher here, and Harwich did a nice job last time with a new arm in the mound.
Meyer delivers strike 1. An Evansville ace, trying to be an ace for the Commodores right now in a 1-run game. Definitely still not out of reach to be their first win. 9 outs to work with. 0-1 down in the dirt, 1-1.
Boy, he really has his whole body in motion when he winds up. He is all over the place with that windup.
Yeah, he's got the hair going. 6'2", 220. A big dog for sure. And here's the 1-1. That one fooled Engelhard. He was taken down to a knee. I think that one got a piece of the umpire again, as Cozart will buy the umpire some time to recover here and go and talk things over with Meyer. Kind of a classy move by Cozart that time.
Well, certainly so. I mean, you need that camaraderie as a catcher and umpire. You understand the situation. But, I mean, to talk about Meyer again for a moment, I'll really be curious. Unfortunately, we don't have the radar working in-house here tonight, but I'd love to know just what exactly he throws velocity-wise. I mean, he's coming downhill. You mentioned it, 6'2", 220, and he really winds it up.
That one misses outside, and the count is evened up at 2.
Yeah, tried to get him to, or I believe he just tried to find the strike zone with the off-speed pitch just there. Just missed outside. A good take from Engelhard.
2-2, the pitch. That one just misses the outside part of the plate, and count is worked full. As we mentioned, Engelhard singled and scored. He was part of that 2-run Mariner 4th that has them in front here. They could use another good inning to give some help to their pitching staff, who has been excellent. And ball 4 issued here. Engelhard will trot down to first base with nobody down.
Good start here to the inning. I mean, that was a nice at-bat from Engelhard. He was able to draw a good amount of pitches. And he was really making Meyer work during that at-bat. And just some control issues here continuing as the very first batter that Meyer faces is walked. I mean, we saw that happen yesterday, however, with Magnus Ellerts for Chatham. Walked the very first batter he faced and then proceeded to retire the next, I believe, 12 or so batters. And so, certainly not the full story quite yet.
Yeah, Ellerts was really a thing of beauty to watch. That one bunted foul. Mariners trying to play a little small ball here. Ellerts, yeah, he set down kind of an unofficial 12 in a row. Mariners did get one hit, but it was set down 6-4-3 with a double play. So it ended up being just 12 batters. No balls and a strike to Corona. He had a double as pickoff attempt back in safely is Engelhard. But yeah, he had the double to put the Mariners on the board. Kyle Teal was able to score after a leadoff walk he had in that inning. Another pickoff attempt, but back in safely with the right hand is Engelhard.
And something you have to like here if you're Harwich is that it's the back end of your lineup that's been producing for you. I mean, Teal, Santucci, Engelhard, and Corona, bottom four guys, they've all got hits.
That one gets away from the catcher. Engelhard thought about it, but he retreats to first base. Cozart, a great job of being heads up. And count is 1-1.
And that's not to say by any means that those are back of the lineup guys, but just the fact that that's where they are in the lineup and that they're able to produce for you still. You know, some good signs here for Harwich early on at the plate with where guys are putting the lineup and how they're able to produce.
This one chopped over the head of the pitcher. Going to be a wild play, and it gets away from Diacunta. A high chopper, plenty of time for the speedy 9-hitter in Corona to hustle it out. He's got, I believe, his second hit of the day. We'll see how they score it. And it is going to be a hit. His second of the day. He's got 2 of the Mariners' 6. Tough play for Diacunta, but there was no one home anyway, so I believe that's why he'll get the hit. Would have been a tough play because I believe Meyer wouldn't have won the race regardless.
Yeah, ultimately a really tough play, and we talked about it earlier, Devin. Those high choppers can really just be, you know, the death of an infield sometimes. Tough to read and tough to play.
0-1 now to the leadoff hitter, Goodwin. He has been a bit under the ball here tonight. Flied out to right, flied out to second, and flied out, although a sac fly to center field put the Mariners in front 2-1. He's got a chance to do some more damage here with first and second, nobody away in the home half of the 6th. Dancing off of second is Engelhard, the 0-1. Misses up high, 1-1. J.D. Martinez adds a home run, Sox up 3-0, his 3rd in the last 4 games. Coming in bunches for both him and Trevor Story. Ball and a strike to Goodwin. He lines this one over the leaping Mooney. Mistimed that one, rounding third and coming in. Play at the plate. A beautiful throw. Did the tag get on? No, he is safe. And over to third goes Corona. Down to second goes Goodwin. A beautiful slide by Engelhard gives the Mariners a 3-1 lead on their 7th hit of the game.
Yeah, the throw in from left field ends up being dropped right at home plate by Cozart. Tough as he tried to transition the catch into the tag, but didn't quite get the glove all the way around it as he tried to then move in and apply the tag to Engelhard. And so, as a result, Engelhard home for the 2nd time today. Mariners now up 3-1 here.
Tatum Levens, 2 ducks on the pond and nobody away. He's got a chance to break this one open here. Still have not seen a homer yet at White House Field. As count is 0-1, he fouls that one off to the right. But yeah, situational hitting. And Mooney looked for a second like he might have a chance to make that play. He took off so early, and it looked like just as he was coming down, the ball went about 3-4 inches over his glove.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love the effort on the extension there. I mean, he put everything he had to try to pull that one down.
Yeah, it was a great effort, but just a bit mistimed. I bet he'd like that one back. He's really had weird defensive things happen to him against the Mariners in just 2 games thus far. As away as that pitch, it's 2-1. On deck is Gino Groover III. Levens tonight has walked, struck out looking, and grounded out to second. Two-1 is in there for a strike. Interesting indication there. Kind of held up 2 fingers. Whatever sends the message, though, I guess. Two and two. This one is popped up out to left field. Justin Jordan under that. The tag and coming home now. And Corona into third, but out at third base. A nice cutoff made. Great job by Mooney to cover third base. Throw was cut off by Mckenzie, and they're able to get the 1, but the Mariners will trade 2 outs for that run. And it's 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, a tough read. I think, understandably, Goodwin tries to move all the way down to third base on that last play, because you saw last time that happened for Falmouth, where they had a runner or a ball hit out into left. Justin Jordan tried to gun down the runner at home plate, and so I think the thinking there again was that for Goodwin, the throw was again going to be headed all the way to home, but a really nice cutoff and an easy flip back to the third base to turn it into 2 outs. And you do get the run if you're Harwich, but cost you an extra run than perhaps it should have.
Closing in on 8:30 Eastern time here in Harwich, Massachusetts. 1-0 to Gino Groover III. And he kind of flips this one over to second base, fielded and fired on to first. 4-3 putout. Saldivar to Diacunta. Mariners tack on 2 more. They take a 4-1 lead. Don't go anywhere as we head to the 7th and final trimester of this ball game here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Mariners up 4-1 after a big 4th and 6th inning. Pitching change for the Mariners. I'll be handing play-by-play duties back over to Tim Foley for the last 3. Tim.
Thanks so much, Devin. So the day is done for Liam Sullivan. He pitched an excellent day for the Mariners here in this home opener here at White House Field. As the very first pitch in from Zane Probst is going to just run off the bat of the man in the box right now, Anthony Mckenzie. But the day for Sullivan looked like this. Pitched 3 complete innings, much like Billy Seidel did. Only gave up the 1 hit, did not allow a run, did not walk anybody, and struck out 5 batters. Really excellent pitching so far here through the first 6 innings from Harwich. As this one's going to be fouled off into the night, and the count moves to 0-2. 11 strikeouts through the first 6 innings, almost 2 strikeouts an inning right now for Harwich Mariners pitching. It's been stellar to watch. Seidel, a veteran who was able to come in and deal as he did last year here, and then Liam Sullivan making his name known all around the Cape with the way that he was able to come in and deal to these Commodores. The 0-2 pitch is fouled off by Anthony Mckenzie, and it heads off into the dugout, and it breaks his bat at that, so he's going to have to get a new twig in a moment here. But it will be, please, Devin.
Zane Probst, just a little bit about him from Seton Hall. Should be expecting a fastball and a slider from him. Apparently working on a changeup as well, though. And for Seton Hall, rising junior, went 0-1 this season, a 5.22 ERA, 16 games, all in relief. Had a save across 29 1/3 innings and 24 strikeouts to 16 walks.
And you mention it as the 0-2 pitch comes in. That's going to be fouled off. Right in on the hands of Mckenzie. Even still is able to get a piece of it and send it away. Count stays 0-2. Working on a changeup. You'll see that with a lot of guys when they come down to any kind of summer ball league where they'll be working on a new pitch. As the 0-2 comes in, that'll be skied up out toward right field. A few steps back is Tommy Seidel. He's parked underneath it. He'll make the catch, 1 away.
Just under that one. Falmouth really struggling to have hard-hit baseballs. Of course, got to tip your cap to the Harwich staff who've really been shutting down this offense. But Mckenzie, your 5-hitter, just under that one. Only moves Seidel back a couple steps. Very easy and routine play. And there's 1 away now for Angelo Diaconto.
And the first pitch to him is going to be in for a called strike from Probst. I mean, this is a really good spot to be working on new kinds of pitches. You really have an excellent support structure around you, the infrastructure of the team, with the way that a lot of these summer ball teams are set up. Really focus on the day-to-day, as that's going to be in for another called strike. It's an 0-2 count here to the batter in Diaconto. But you get to focus on, every single day coming out, doing your work, working with the coaches. And, you don't need to worry about classes during the week, what have you. And so you have all the time, all summer long, to develop your game. And so you'll see that with a lot of guys. They'll try to enter a 3rd pitch into their repertoires. This one's going to be tagged out toward left center field. That's going to get down just beyond the glove of the left fielder, Kyle Teal. Hustling up to second base is going to be Angelo Diaconto, and he's in with a 1-out stand-up double.
And finally, Falmouth able to catch one here. Looked for a second as if we were going to see Teal make a play. He leaps, but it gets just over his glove. Close play there. The double cut was sent out by the Mariners' middle infield. Gino Groover doing a nice job to back up the play, because if that ball got by, Diaconto might have been able to just walk over to third base.
Yeah, no, really was able to pull that one down quickly enough. And so, honestly, job done out in left, as good a job as could have been done, as that one swung on and missed by Jacob Cozart, who's 0 for 2 on the day. As was Angelo Diaconto before he hit that double out toward the gap in left center. Cozart 0 for 2 with a strikeout. As next pitch is going to miss for a ball. It's a 1-1 count now, 1 away.
Falmouth will take anything they can get. Still in this one, down just 3 runs. One swing of the bat can make this a 1-run game here. Don't count them out just yet.
Yeah, by no means. As Levin's trying to do his best frame job there. Missed low and inside. It's a 2-1 count now. So for the Commodores up next, Justin Jordan's on deck. Thereafter, it'll be Eddie Saldivar as they try to rally here. Man on second, just one away. Top of the seventh. That's in the heart of the plate. That's a 2-2 count now as Probst, so far, he's been able to find the strike zone. That was a nice dispensing of Anthony Mckenzie. Got taken out to left center by Diaconto, and now here's the 2-2. That skips in the dirt this time. And now Cozart is able to load the count. So we will see what exactly it is that Probst has on offer. Again, he's been working on that tertiary pitch. Perhaps opting in a spot like this, where it's a little more tight, go with something you're a little more familiar with. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled off back toward the dugout, and so we'll do it again, 3-2.
Good fight here. Quality at bat. Falmouth would love to get on, especially when you got Justin Jordan on deck, one of your 3 hits and your only run. So a guy who typically had batted leadoff in college, and now he's in your 8th spot, can definitely find a spot for a base hit. But he'll have to wait till after this.
Here's the 3-2. That'll miss high and outside, and so that's ball 4. Down to first base is Jacob Cozart. Still over at second is Angelo Diaconto, and so this will now bring up Justin Jordan with runners on first and second, just one away here. Top of the 7th inning. Mariners were able to win in Falmouth when they were up late in the game. Never really was it a question they'd come out on top, as the 3 spot they put up in the 8th inning helped to secure the bag on that Sunday night opening day, but things getting a little hairy here. Just one away, 2 on. Batter in, Justin Jordan. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it off and out of play, and the count opens up at 0-1.
Zane Probst, a bit of an Einstein. Big East Weekly Honor Roll back in April, and also Big East All-Academic Team.
As the 0-1 count. Probst stares back, now in. And that's going to be good for a called strike. Trying to check his swing was Jordan. It didn't matter either way. But it helps to have that, that high IQ, that academic prowess. Got to be outthinking your opponent no matter where you are on the field, especially on the mound. It's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Justin Jordan. Zane Probst, his first CCBL strikeout.
Yeah, nice pitch there. High heat, and kind of made Jordan look silly on a couple of those swings. Kind of half-hearted, not much doing there. 2 down now with 2 on. Eddie Saldivar trying to make some noise here. He's struck out looking twice in this ball game.
Yeah, it has been tough for Saldivar. There's been a lot of guys who have struck out here today for Falmouth, as that's going to be in for a strike. It's an 0-1 count. Collectively on the day, that is the 12th strikeout for this Harwich Mariners pitching staff. That ties the season high that they were able to throw last time out against the Commodores. Only had 9 strikeouts last night against Chatham. As the 0-1, it's up high. Checking his swing with Saldivar. They check down to the third base umpire position closer over towards second, and Ryan DeMayer, and he says he did not go. So that will go down in the books as a ball. It's a 1-1 count, 2 away. Runners still on first and second in Cozart and Diaconto, respectively. Probst comes set, stares at second, and delivers. Swing and a miss. A big cut. He was going for the fences there. Eddie Saldivar was trying to tie this game with the swing of a bat, but he comes up empty. It's a 1-2 count. Probst now a pitch away from getting out of this inning. Allowed runners on to first and second with 1 away, but he retired the last batter, and now here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. Zane Probst strikes out back-to-back batters to get out of the inning. Commodores leave 2 stranded, and the Mariners hold on to their 3-run lead as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 4-1 Harwich. We'll be back with more in a moment. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back to Harwich. Joe Vitrano leads us off in the home half of the 7th inning. Back on the mound, it's his now 2nd inning of work. It's going to be Jacob Meyer on the bump, as that's in for a first pitch called strike. Joe Vitrano, as mentioned, leads us off on the night so far. 1 for 3, struck out swinging back in the 1st inning, and then flew out to center in his 2nd at-bat, but had a single back in the 5th inning. And so he continues his now 3-game hit streak, as this one's chopped on the ground, left side. It's dug out nicely by Mckenzie. Throw on to first, in time, on target, and there is one away quickly in the bottom of the 7th inning.
What a wonderful pick by Mckenzie over at third base on the short hop, running in. People don't understand how difficult that play is. Made it look so easy. Had to time the hop and find a way to get it to his throwing hand and beat who's been a decently quick runner for the Mariners in Vitrano, one away.
And so this brings up Tommy Seidel. Seidel similarly struck out and flew out to center field in each of his first 2 at-bats. Did also reach on his 3rd at-bat. It was a fielder's choice, so that actually resulted in Vitrano getting cut down at second base. So it was at his expense. And he's looking to get on now with 1 away. He takes a first pitch strike. Back-to-back first pitch strikes coming out from Jacob Meyer, who did allow the 2 runs that have pushed this Harwich lead up to 3 last inning. Came in with a 1-run deficit as Jacob Cozart goes out to have a conversation with his pitcher in Meyer. But he gave up a walk to open up the 6th inning to chase Engelhard, and then thereafter Danny Corona got on base. And after that it was a sac fly from Tatum Levins that ultimately put the runner in Corona all the way around, as it's an 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in for a called strike. A very nice pitch from Meyer. Catches the inside part of the plate, and it's 0-2. As Meyer stares in, Seidel, he'll step up to the plate. Meyer holds the glove right about his left shoulder. Now holds it down about his waist. Gets ready to come home. Lines and delivers. Seidel checks his swing, kicks in the dirt just before home plate, bounces off the chest protector of Cozart, and he goes scrambling after it. Nobody on the base paths to take advantage. And the count is 1-2. Quick update. Go around the league real quick. Brewster Whitecaps have picked up a 3-1 win over the YD Red Sox. Katuitt winning over Bourne. They have started the season 3-0. It's 2-0 Orleans in Orleans over the Gatemen, and then 1-1 Chatham and Hyannis in the bottom of the 7th inning over at Veterans Field. That one's tipped back to the catcher, and Tommy Seidel nearly went out to pick up the ball. He opted to leave it over to Meyer, excuse me. Singular, as it's still a 1-2 count here to the batter in Tommy Seidel. Again, his younger brother Billy got the start earlier tonight. An impressive showing from Billy. Something that Mariners fans are no strangers to. 3 complete innings, 1 hit, 1 run. Walked 2, but struck out 6. Looked very strong. It's a 1-2 count. The pitch. That's going to miss outside, and the count now 2-2.
Seidel would like to get going here, still without a hit after having a multi-hit game last night. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 5th, but hasn't been to first since.
And he's on a bit of a hit streak here as well. Mentioned Vitrano extended his to 3. As Seidel goes down swinging. That's held on to by the catcher in Cozart, and that is going to be the first strikeout of the night by Jacob Meyer. So down goes Seidel. 2nd time he has struck out swinging. And there's 2 away now here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Kyle Teal will step up. He's been a real pain in the side of the Falmouth Commodores. Been on base all 3 times in which he's stepped up, singled, walked and scored, and walked again. And he needed a big game after his 0 for night last night.
Yeah, you know, there are multiple ways you can get going at the plate. And, you know, I think if you were to talk to him, he obviously would feel that last night, you know, swung it a lot, struck out 3 times. But he's had a lot better discipline here tonight. He's been able to read the pitch a bit better coming out of the hand of the Commodores. And so 2 walks, as you put it. And he was the first run of the game for Harwich. And so Help to jumpstart this offense here tonight. As he swings and misses. 0-2. Aggressive in the box right now is Teal. As you said, still looking for that first hit. Actually, no, pardon. He had the one back in the second inning, excuse me. Looking for another hit. As Meyer stares in and delivers. That'll go up high. That'll miss. It's a 1-2 count.
And taking a look ahead, not sure if we're going to see Probst step back out there for the 8th, or if they're going to make a change. We do know that Jaden Woods, another Georgia Bulldog, is available.
Yes, he has the warm-up cover off, as that one's going to miss outside, and the count moves to 2-2. Could very well see Woods to try and close out this game. Would be a save situation, just a 3-run game. Another figure I'll be curious to see if we see. Brock Wilkin. Yet to see him out in the dugout, as that one's going to be swung on, dropped, but then tagged by Cozart as he's able to pick up the ball and apply the tag to Teal. Back-to-back strikeouts swinging as Jacob Meyer picks up 2 Ks in his second inning of work. We head now to the top of the 8th inning. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball in just a minute. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back with you here out of the inning break. The top of the 8th inning, as Harwich still holds on to a 3-run lead, 4-1. A pair of runs scored in each the 4th and 6th innings for Harwich is part of how we have gotten here. The 1 run for Falmouth, that coming all the way back in the top of the 3rd inning. Justin Jordan came all the way around.
And we've been seeing from Probst a lot of check swings. We see another one right there from Mooney. Cuts on that one and misses. But we have been seeing several pitches where batters have checked their swing. I think it's up to 5 or 6 now in just 1 full inning plus. So I'd love to know what that movement's doing from a batter's box view.
Yeah, as that one's going to come in and miss, so it's a 2-2 count right now. But it's been tough to read out of the hand of Probst, the right-hander, as you put it, Devin. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That'll be chopped back to the backstop underneath it. Slices it straight back. So he had the timing down, but just did not align it exactly how he needed to. So it's a 2-2 count. Probst stares in, rocks, and delivers. Again, sliced back foul. Good fight here from Alex Mooney, who so far tonight, 1 for 2. Singled in his last at-bat to lead off the 6th inning, and now here he is leading off the 8th inning. Lined out to left field on the first pitch of the ball game. Yes. 2-2 pitch. In there, strike three. Rang him up. That's the third strikeout for Zane Probst here in his debut.
Yeah, that one might have been a little bit in on the hands as it appeared up here, and we see Mooney kind of back out of the box a little bit. But a liberal zone here tonight, and it's been consistent, so you got to be expecting that, and you got to protect with 2 strikes. Mooney doesn't do it there, and he's headed back to the Falmouth dugout.
And it's tough, too, for Mooney because he had been so defensive for so long in that at-bat, fouling off pitch after pitch. It comes to a point where he finally tries to take a ball and advance it to a full count, make it a little tougher on the pitcher Probst. But as soon as he does take, it just catches the zone, and home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa rings him up. It's a now 1-1 count as the 1-0 pitch finds its way into the strike zone. Uncontested by Cross Factor, who now steps in. He struck out earlier in the ball game, walked, and then got on in a fielder's choice back in the 6th inning.
Probst, that one misses. It's 2-1, but went to Central Mountain High School, and he actually holds Clinton County's all-time passing record in football. So a great quarterback, and now he's pitching out here in relief for the Mariner. So he's got a couple good sports that he's good at.
Yeah, as that's going to miss for a ball. It's a 3-1 count. Quarterback, you think about that kind of skill set it requires, the rotation of the hip, something that's so important to have as a pitcher. It's really no surprise to see that that transition, quarterback to excellent pitcher here now in the Cape Cod Baseball League, because this one's going to be sliced back foul. And, you know, so important is the value of playing multiple sports as an athlete. You hear that a lot, too. You know, guys who will, you know, sometimes they'll want to play, you know, say spring football or something or other, fall ball perhaps, one way or the other. But you've got a lot of coaches these days, I feel more and more so, that'll encourage athletes to try different things, as this one's going to be hit foul out of play. I know a lot of guys who, as it's a full count here with one away, I know a lot of guys who back in high school on the football team would always join the track and field team. Same with college. You see that a lot where they'll take up football in the fall and then really work more on conditioning or just other aspects of their physicality come spring. As it's still a 3-2 count. Rocks and delivers. Slice straight back to the backstop. It will remain a 3-2 count.
And yeah, it must be tough, especially for a great football player like Probst, when you're forced to choose. I'm sure he had offers to play football somewhere if he's the all-time passing leader, but he went with baseball. When you have that skill set, I guess you'll take the record book, and of course, baseball, much less contact than football.
As a 3-2 swung on and missed. That's going to, no, it looks like a foul tip rather, excuse me. Did get a piece of it, and it was dropped by Levin, so the at-bat continues here. Forgive me for that. But, so it's a 3-2 count with one away. And you think about longevity, too, career-wise, football to baseball as a pitcher. As the 3-2 pitch is going to be fouled off once again.
And I think it's fair to factor in that, you know, football, very difficult. You need a certain skill set to play at the Division I level. And, you know, sometimes it's more, I would say it's probably easier when you're such a great pitcher to play baseball than football, especially with the conditioning and things. So,
yes, 3-2 comes in. Foul tip back, and again Levins does not hold on to it. Second time this at-bat that he has failed to do so. 3-2 count once again. We'll try one more time. A lot more openings as well to play college baseball as a pitcher than there are to play college football as a quarterback. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Got him this time. Down goes the batter and Factor. 4 straight strikeouts for Zane Probst, and there's 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning.
Straight gas there that time. Probst's career high is 5 strikeouts. He did that back on May 1st in 2022 against Georgetown Hoyas. Coach Engelhard might make sure, and he's going to go to his bullpen in Jaden Woods, so we will not have a chance to shatter that record, although Probst was dialed in here tonight. But baseball matchups game, and the lefty will now climb in.
And so with that, we'll give Woods a moment to warm up. We'll be back on the other side of the break with more Harwich Mariners baseball. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back out of the pitching change now. Jaden Woods has taken the mound. He'll first have to face off against Maui Ahuna, the lefty. So a lefty-on-lefty matchup here. The day for Probst looked like this. It's really a stellar outing for Probst. An inning and 2/3, gave up just one hit, walked just one batter, and struck out 4 straight to close out his outing. Coach Engelhard ending his night on a high note, going with the matchup change. And so Woods, he'll come in and he will not hesitate to throw a first pitch strike with some cheese on it. It's 0-1 here with 2 away to open up the at-bat to Maui Ahuna.
Woods is going to feature a fastball, slider, and changeup here tonight.
As the 0-1 comes in, and he's able to get him to swing on it. A very nice off-speed pitch after he showed him the fastball. Was able to get Ahuna off balance, and Ahuna at risk of striking out 4 times. Already 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. Woods delivers. Just misses outside. Looked like a nice pitch. Unable to catch the plate, so says Hinojosa behind home. And so the count now 1-2.
Chris Cassidy begs to differ out there. He wanted the call, but won't get it.
It's a 1-2 pitch. That one skips in the dirt. Tried to go back to the fastball. Came in with a lot of velocity. It's a 2-2 count now. Even down after Woods was ahead in the count, 0-2. Woods kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, down to the dirt, dropped, but Levens is able to apply the tag. The Mariners strike out the side, 2 from Probst, and then Jaden Woods comes in and dazzles in his one batter faced. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mariners look to tack on a few more before trying to close it out in the top of the 9th. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball in a moment. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Leominster native Santucci digs in from the left side as Harwich holds a 3-run lead. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. They are playing here at White House Field for the first time in 2022, playing host to the Falmouth Commodores, trading off home openers. Harwich was able to get the better of them the other night in that 9-2 victory over Falmouth, down over by Buzzards Bay, as this pitch misses for a ball to open up the at-bat to Santucci. Jacob Meyer is back on the mound. It is his 3rd inning of work. Had a much better 2nd inning back in the 7th than he did his debut inning. Was able to strike out 2 batters, sat them down 1-2-3 in the 7th. But it was that 6th inning in which 2 runs came across and made it that much more difficult for Falmouth to try to come back in this game. Now come the top of the 9th when they'll be down to their final 3 outs. It's a 1-1 count here to Santucci. Meyer stares in. He'll hold his glove about hip level, right about the belt. Looks in, now kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss from Santucci. Did get a piece of it, so says Hinojosa, but nicely held on to by Cozart. And so it's a 1-2 count here to Santucci. Meyer stares in, takes a deep breath. Now holds and delivers. Swing and a miss. Down goes Santucci. Thought perhaps the ball may have been dropped at home, but held on to firmly by Jacob Cozart. And so that is the first at-bat of the inning. Down goes Santucci. Chase Engelhard now comes up to bat for the Mariners.
Second strikeout of the night for Santucci, and the third straight batter to be retired by way of the K by Jacob Meyer. All the way back to Teal and Seidel.
And so it is Engelhard up to bat now. Struck out in his first at-bat back in the second inning, but since then has turned in a couple of quality at-bats. Singled back in the fourth, and then came all the way around to score. And then back in the sixth inning as well, got on with a walk, and again came all the way around to score. So he has counted for half of the runs scored by the Mariners here tonight.
And all of those runs have been scored by the bottom four guys in the lineup. Teal with one, Engelhard with two, as you mentioned, and Corona with the fourth one.
As Meyer delivers. A nice curveball, drops it right over home plate. It's a 1-1 count.
Orleans blinked the Gatemen 2-0, and Chatham and Hyannis still knotted at 1 in the top of the 8th out at Veterans Field.
Yeah, so as that game gets later on, good time to remind you there are no extra innings this year, as that pitch is going to find the strike zone inside part of the plate, a 1-2 count. Something the league agreed upon this year. No extra innings, capped at 9, so should it be tied at the end of 9 innings, that'll be it. But come playoff time, should there be a tie at the end of 9, they will play extras, because at the end of the day, you need to have a winner come the playoffs. This ball's going to be chopped on the ground. Foul goes right off the left foot of Chase Engelhard. Steps out of the batter's box for a moment. 1-2 count still. Mariners will have the off day tomorrow. They'll then host back-to-back games, YD and Bourne, for heading on the road to YD, Red Wilson Field. 1-2 pitch, misses up high. It's 2-2 now.
Not a bad trip over there to YD. Nice and local. At least for me, I think it's closer than White House. I'm in South Dennis for the summer.
I'm lucky enough, close here to White House Field. Truly a home field. 2-2 count. Meyer waiting, looking for the sign. Finally gets it. Comes set. And time called here by Engelhard. Looking forward to getting around the league, checking out all the ballparks this year. We did see all the fantastic renovations that Falmouth had over at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field back the other night. New bleachers, new dugouts. Swing and a miss, strike 3. No, it was a foul tip, but the tag applied nonetheless by Cozart. And that is now 4 straight strikeouts from Jacob Meyer, all of which have come swinging. And he's an out away from closing out this inning and turning the ball game over to his lineup.
10 punch-outs for the Mariners into double digits. They'd, of course, like to make some more contact. In what could be the final inning of offense, we still have yet to see Brock Wilkin, who, although activated, has not made an appearance.
As that one's going to miss down low. It's 1-0 to open up the at-bat here. And, you know, I think wisely enough, you know, no need really to bring him out here tonight. And I'm sure he'd be ready in a pinch, and I'm sure he wants to get out there. But Engler letting a lot of these newer guys to the Cape, getting their reps.
Corona's had a nice little game. 2 hits, last one an infield single, and he scored. He's also doubled in RBI. So good game for Corona out of the 9th spot, playing shortstop tonight. Goodwin over at 3rd. His first time not starting at short for Englert's Mariners here.
As the 2-0 comes in. That's going to miss outside, and so the count now to 3-0 here on Danny Corona. Taking the last couple of pitches here.
Goodwin on deck. Should we get there? He's already been up 4 times. 1 for 3 on the night.
And Corona was ready to throw the bat over to the dugout as the 3-0 came in, but Hinojosa indicating strike 1. So he'll have to step back in. 3-1 count. 2 away. Bottom of the 8th inning. Meyer delivers. That is going to be the exact same circumstance. Danny Corona thought he had ball 4, got into the windup, ready to flip the bat over to the dugout, and tries to play it off as casually as possible, maybe just working the arm, holds on to it, and he'll take a full count pitch now. Nice sequence from Meyer to get back into it. The pitch, that's going to be fouled off, and the count stays at 3-2.
Yeah, kind of odd. It's always so funny to me when the umpire spoils a free walk to first base, especially when it's on a full count pitch. Those are the best.
As Meyer stares in, nods. The pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go? He did. And so Corona finally is able to let that bat go from his grasp, but he's going to have to go chase after it. Strike 3. Down he goes. 5 straight strikeouts from Jacob Meyer. We head to the top of the 9th inning. Falmouth Commodores down to their final 3 outs. Harwich Mariners trying to lock up their 2nd win of the season and their 1st here on home field. We'll be back with the top of the 9th when we return. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back to White House Field for the top of the 9th inning. Jaden Woods back on the mound, looking to close it out here for the Mariners. And he will open it up with a first pitch strike, much like he did to Maui Ahuna back when he came into the ball game. 2 outs into the top of the 8th inning after Zane Probst was able to sit down the first 2. Both Probst and Woods collectively striking out the side, as now Woods right back at it with yet another strike. It's an 0-2 count here, nobody away to Drew Brutcher, trying to keep the game alive here for the Commodores. The pitch. That'll go down low, miss in the dirt, and so it's now a 1-2 count.
Brutcher punched out twice, grounded out to second here tonight.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll miss low and outside once again. Woods trying to entice Brutcher to some extent on the outside part of the plate, getting to go down swinging, but unable to keep it close enough to get him to really bite. The 2-2. That's in there, called strike 3. That's now 6 straight strikeouts by Harwich Mariner pitching. This pitching staff for Harwich has looked excellent across these first few games here. Notably, the 2 best pitching performances have been against the exact same team, but even still, it's been all sorts of different arms, and Harwich has to like what they've gotten out of their bullpen so far to this point in the season.
Yeah, they've been fantastic, and actually we didn't take any time to award the Golden Sombrero to Ahuna out of the 3 spot. Struck out 4 times tonight.
As this one's going to be pulled to the left side, scooped up by Goodwin, throw across the diamond onto Groover, and that is going to be out number 2. So, Mariners now 1 out away from locking up this second win of the season and first here at White House Field.
Comes down to Angelo Diaconto. Last life, Falmouth with as many hits as many runs as they need, I guess is how I'll put it. 3 hits and they're down 3. In order to at least try and steal a point here, it's going to take some sort of rally.
But it's been a tough part of the lineup to have to come up to bat here in this inning for Falmouth, as a big swing and a miss from Diaconto has him down in the count immediately 0-1. Coming into this inning, the 3 batters who were due up were a collective 1 for 9. Diaconto, the only one to have gotten on base with his double in his last at-bat with 1 out in the 7th inning. The 0-1 pitch, that's right over the heart of the plate. Jaden Woods is not mincing words. He is just mowing guys down right now, unafraid of anybody in the batter's box, and he's now 1 pitch away from locking up this win. The 0-2 pitch. That'll be fouled straight back, and we'll do it once again.
On the bright side for Falmouth, Diaconto did hit that double, as you mentioned, that 1 hit. That was a bomb over the head of Teal out in left center field, probably about 20 or so feet from getting out of this ballpark.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one's going to be skied up. That's heading off toward foul territory down the first base line, and that'll catch the top of the fence that is newly installed here at White House Field to help protect spectators from incoming objects.
Yeah, top of the fence. How about that? That's some placement. I bet he couldn't do that again if he tried.
I don't know if we'll see that again all season. It's an 0-2 count here to the batter in Diaconto. Woods one more time. The pitch. Curveball, did not get it. Levens will give it back to the mound. I think he was ready to go around the horn there. Thought he had it. Off speed up high. A nice take from Diaconto, as Woods now tries to put him away with the next one. It's a 1-2 count, 2 away, top of the 9th. The pitch. This one's going to be popped up. That'll head over towards second base. Engelhard underneath it, and that's the ball game. The Harwich Mariners were able to lock up a 4-1 win here tonight over the Falmouth Commodores. Second win over the Commodores in 3 days, as the Mariners are now 2-1 on the season. They take the home opener here and look to continue along this 3-game homestand. That'll continue on Thursday. We'll step aside. We'll take a brief moment to add up the numbers. We'll be back in the Harwich Mariners post-game show in just a minute. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside the press box here at White House Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobeck set to take you home. A 4-1 victory over the Falmouth Commodores here tonight on the home opener, in which Harwich, not a whole lot of offense here tonight, but 4 runs. It was just enough, just what they needed, as the pitching was really excellent all night long, Devin.
Yeah, you got to tip your hat. Harwich Mariners pitching staff was unbelievable. 6 out of the last 8 outs came by way of the K. The bullpen coming in and picking up the pieces. We got a great quality start coming in, picked up by Liam Sullivan. He'll get credit for the win. He was fantastic. handed the ball over to Probst, and in his debut, punched out for it. Jaden Woods comes in, adds another couple Ks, and just like that, the Mariners back in the win column, 2-1.
Yeah, it's absolutely an impressive night from the bullpen. As mentioned, those your pitchers, again, the loss to Jerome Watts-Brown. Liam Sullivan picks up the win, and Jaden Woods is able to lock up the save. So, well, what is next for the Mariners? Well, their very next game is going to come up on Thursday, 2 days from now. They have the off day tomorrow after opening up the season with 3 straight games. They will host YD, a 6:30 first pitch, and then they will also host Bourne. That will be on Friday, another 6:30 first pitch, and then they'll head on the road over to YD to close out the week on Saturday, and then of course the doubleheader back here at White House Field on Sunday. And so that'll do it for us here from Harwich. For Devin Dobeck and the rest of our production crew here tonight, helping to make everything go right on the broadcast, social medias, what have you, I'm Tim Foley saying thanks so much for listening to our broadcast here tonight, and we'll see you back here at White House Field this Thursday, 6:30 first pitch against YD. Have a good night, everybody.